Hello, beautiful souls. What's a soul portrait? Come along with me as I have a soul portrait done by a visionary artist, Katherine Scaggs. Welcome to High Vibe Energy Collective. Today I'm sharing with you an experience I had with Katherine doing my soul portrait. So here's my soul portrait. I want to share it with you. So here is my soul portrait. So as she is painting this portrait live, she is also channeling with her guides and sharing it with me. It was such a fun process, and I want to bring you along with me. Katherine says each soul portrait painting is a beautiful portal to the divine. With your desire and intention, you inspire imagery, song, color, symbols, and presence of your soul's beauty through each brushstroke. Each soul portrait is an intuitive painting revealing your true spirit through powerful, vibrant colors and energy patterns on the canvas. Soul portraits are an avenue to connect with your true spirit, beauty, and your divine nature. So with no further ado, here is the recording of my soul portrait experience live as it is happening.
Do you have an intention or prayer? I know that always opens the door for all the energy and light. And oh my goodness, as I even say that, you're exuding energy toward me that I can tell is bringing in your priestess energy.
I love that.
So do you have anything you want to put into a couple of sentences about getting your soul portrait and reflection back to you at this time? And then we'll just open up to all that wants to come in.
Okay. I feel like the portrait will bring in my next step, like my next phase, my next step, all this energy roaring through me. I'm super excited. So,
Okay, good. Well, you're very clear telepathically with me. It's very like, up, I see so much. So I'm going to turn this more toward the canvas so you can watch it unfold. And then I will continue to communicate what I'm getting as it comes into canvas for you. And then we got it all recorded, and then I'll be able to ship your painting. All right, my dear. So what's kind of cool is that shamanic priestess energy is very strong with you. And I honestly get a huge Egypt vibe with you. And that was immediate. And I got chills all the way down my back talking about it. And then, as you said, your intention about taking your next step, I started to see this vision like of you in the desert meaning Egypt, not like a dry place that's barren. It was more like very familial, very something you've done many times before, my guides are saying, to go on this adventure of the unknown. And yet in your heart, you know all that you need to know. That it's really like this interface with what looks like the 3D reality, but it's more like this complete soul remembering of returning to the depth of your wisdom, the depth of your ceremonial remembering. It's a remembering. You haven't been learning, you've been remembering. And you know that. And just in deepening what you have to give. I didn't go check out the book that you've written already, but I can tell there's just this energy of coming in. This all comes in layers. So it's like our lives. It's like this big conversation in layers and communication, but these violet and some magenta colors, it really speaks to me that you walk the rose path, that you have the heart of Sophia and Magdalene and the energy of Isis and the energy of these great mothers to bring in that medicine through you. And my guides it's just coming in, pouring in. It's like, holy smokes. It's like as this energy is coming in, Isis is very clear here in her benevolence and this energy of her wings holding you in this journey, like helping you give birth to this next place of who you are on this planet and this life, but merging in many dimensions, many timelines that bring you into a higher timeline of expression, but with great power and great wisdom and just the depth of love is intense. Can you feel that?
yes.
Yeah, it's like you have walked many temple lives, not only in Egypt, but many places on the planet, and as a holy woman. I love your kahuna background too, by the way. I get this precious innocence from childhood in this life, but also other timelines that you've walked in kahuna royalty is what my guides are saying. And I want to cry when I say that. that there's a
Mhm.
great depth of understanding of the flowers. There's a great depth of understanding of the waters. There's a great depth of witnessing people in transitions from being birthed, both physically and consciously, to releasing their bodies, to healing ceremonies. I feel a great deal of depth there that brings in a childlike nature and yet this maturity that has great humility. It's a very interesting mix. And it feels very much as important as any other timelines that you've carried. There's something that mixes between them all that says they've never been separate. You may say, I've got this tradition or this tradition or this tradition that I've become aware of, and yet they're weaving into a soul braid of purpose and lineages that you've stuck your toe in on Earth, and my guides are saying on other planetary systems that weave through this excitement that you have of this remembering of having many times as a healer and one who's brought in feminine. You also got some warrior energy in there. You can make shit happen. I mean, you've got tenacity that visions. I think of the goddess Athena here. She's tenacity. She's not about going to war. She's about keeping her eye focused on what is important and then creating it. And that's what it feels like with you right now, is that you've got that sense of spiritual tenacity and earthly tenacity, and tenacity that brings in this sense of real deep connection with your soul that is very clear energetically as well as consciously with what comes through how you get information and then how you bring that forth. And my guides are saying, you can relax a little more. I feel like, ooh, she's ready to rock and roll. And they're like, it's all unfolding. No worries. You can take a breath. It's okay. Do you feel like that sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes I feel like there's so much coming through that I have to keep going. You know what I mean? I get that occasionally too. Just set your intention and let go of the time. But it's also the enthusiasm of wanting to see the unfolding?
Oh, I know. I do know. Yeah, you're really moving into more 5G transmissions and alignments than this linear thing.
Yeah, and we went to Greece and Egypt last year, and Egypt, I've always had an affinity to it because it's so interesting. But we went there because one of our friends that we travel with, she wanted to go to Egypt. And my husband's like, yeah, I want to go to Egypt. So I was like, okay, let's go. So we kind of went, and when I went there, I got downloaded.
Yeah.
It was like, boom. I mean, they're the ones who led me there. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone, but really, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, you've been activated in a whole new way, pretty profoundly. What I've found, and I bet you can attest to this through the many international travels around this planet you've had, is when you go to these lands, my experience, and I feel this for you, is that you're not just remembering or experiencing as it is now, you're tapping into vibrational harmonics that you planted on the planet in these sacred spaces. They're
Oh.
activating you and remembering. It's like you're taking timelines and bringing them together, not just feel like you're getting new downloads, but really weaving in more of your own soul presence and bringing in these lifetimes and memories. Now's the time you were called, and you're remembering, you're being activated, and you're coming to the next level here. But yeah, it's cool that you get to travel like this. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's so cool. I know when I got back and I explained that to my Puna teacher, she laughed at me and she said, "Oh, happy birthday." And I said, "It's not my birthday." She goes, "It is now." She's like, "You got rebirth."
Yeah. That's very big energy. It's just like reconstructing your energy field and your sacred geometry to travel between time and space more expansively than what you've experienced in your conscious awareness so far. My guides have been
Mm.
saying, be careful about how I say this because you've been doing this your whole life. It's just you're becoming more and more aware of how woven together you are. Yeah. Have you had any memories of being in other star systems or a sense of the stars that besides on Earth that speak to you?
I channel, so I get that sense that, there are other cosmos in my channeling, right? So that part is cool and it's so big. For the first time last year in July. We went on a Scandinavian cruise. So there are friends that, I've met along the way that we get together. And on that last cruise, I've been channeling for years, and it's just been me and my husband. On that cruise, I got the message that I need to start channeling for other people.
Yeah.
Right. So I called my girlfriend's room and I said, "Hey, this is what I'm getting." She's like, "Okay, let's go. Let's go do it now." So we gathered up a group of friends and I channeled. And it was a great experience because it gave me the confidence because they were all like blown away. And they said there was something different about when I channeled that it raised the whole vibration of the room.
Yep.
It wasn't just like messages coming through, it was like an activation.
Yep.
I know I feel it, but I was really excited that they felt it. So the YouTube channel came about very randomly, which makes me know that that's a sign, right? And if you had told me, 5 years ago that I would be doing YouTube, I would be like, no way. I wasn't really into social media or any of that stuff, right? And now I'm so excited about it. I feel like every video's a transmission.
Yes. It's only gonna get bigger. Good.
I
Yeah.
taught a Ho'oponopono class. This was several years ago. One of the students in the class, she walked in and she looked at me. I'd never met her before. She was a new student. She said, "You just appear like sunshine on the ceiling of my bedroom, and I feel energized that I can start the day." And she said, "I never realized until this minute that you were real." And I was like, "What?" And, yeah, she was so sincere. I recorded it at the time, although I wasn't doing YouTube. I don't know where that video is. So that's what kind of made me feel like, this activation thing is real.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the more excited you get and do what you're doing, you'll definitely go beyond this physical way of connecting to people. It's just as you're excited and bring all this love through, it's like all the right people will find you. They have to. You have soul agreements with many people. I think that's where the guidance earlier about just relax, not force anything. Even though you're excited, is you're expanding in just your right timing. And my guides are saying as much as the world needs you, you're still transmitting holographically beyond what it seems in just whatever your YouTube following is. As I say that, my guides are saying there will be podcasts in many different ways that you'll connect through the networking of your soul family and people who need to meet you.
I love that so much.
Yeah. What I understand is your soul's success or desire and your trajectory of your life is unfolding exactly in the right pace right now. And it's like your rhythm and your excitement is to find your balance, finding your rhythm and trusting that you got a 10 coming through. It's like you're just completely unfolding. And I get this sense as I say this, I keep feeling this sense of a lotus at your heart. And Kuan Yin is very much with you. Do you work with Kuan Yin at all?
I have in the past, yeah.
Well, this lotus wants to be in your painting. The oversoul of Mother Mary, Isis, and Kuan Yin are all from the same soul stream. And
Wow.
so they all are different incarnations basically of the Divine Mother soul stream, and that they all work with you. And I got a lot of chills as I say that because there's a sense of this is not just a symbol of enlightenment from Buddhism or these traditions, it's a symbol along with the rose, which that energy is in your painting too, of a depth of work that you've done through many lifetimes, from mystery schools, temples, less out there lifetimes, more in their lifetimes, so to speak, and that there's a steadiness of trusting your inner spaces and your outer spaces. You can't mess it up, and you know that already. It's like, I can't mess this up, but there's that human mind that says, I should hurry up. All coming together in just right timing. You're living the life of love. Well, you're moving more into 5D every day with all that you're doing. I mean, that moves us into a timeless nature, which helps us to reverse ages, I believe.
I'm just so entranced at how you paint. It just flows out of you.
It truly is an honor to be sitting here with you. Yeah, you've got such a beautiful connection. My guides are saying, make sure to put in a gold. I usually think of silver as the light above, but well, with gold orb, but my guides are saying, make sure I've got this beautiful gold cord of light that connects you to your higher sense of your divine self. That's bigger than your oversoul. That's bigger than just your soul line. It's your connection to source. It's your connection to divine light, the Christ light, whatever your language is for it. And it's that you're here to be that hollow bone is talked about in shamanism, and joy. You bring through all this joy. I mean, your smile, your eyes, is pure joy. That's where that childlike nature mixes with that wise, forever, eternal being in you that is just pure joy. And I'm like, that is as essential to helping another human being without fixing anything, to simply be that light. And that is so clearly who you are. And it's like you're a radiant being of light. So what popped in, not only do you have this incredible connection with the Divine Mother in the different ways that you do you have a deep connection to Jesus? But
I
not in a Christian religious way,
Yeah.
but deep spiritual brother, like enlightened. I feel like you know him at a deep heart level, that perhaps you might have even walked with him or been in a scene in another timeline. What's your feeling on that?
Yes, I feel him so clearly at times.
He's one of my guides, and he just popped in really clearly. I'm like, he's working with you, isn't he? He's just very so clear. So much love.
So much love.
Yeah, part of the message I get now with that energy coming in is that you need to remember and own it. It's not ego. It is more of your soul remembering. You carry the same spark. You see him as inspiration or energy or source of energy. He's also a reflection of something within yourself you're attained and you're here to remember. And I say that with great humility to feel that, to be able to say that out loud, but he's a mirror reflection of a part of your own self. That he's come not only to be something outside of you, an energy source of light, a reminder of how to step into that light or the truth of that depth of love and truth. I have a real sense of like almost in your own heart space, not just physically, but more like your spiritual heart, that there's a chamber. And this is symbolic, I think, but it's probably very literal in some 5D, is that there's this access chamber that he vibrates when he comes into your field. And it's almost like breaking open a seed pod to your inner enlightenment, that it exists concurrently with this personality, that it exists not as you in different timelines, but as something that is integral to who you're being, that in this life, part of all that you're being guided to share, to do, to create is part of your own breaking open your seed pod of your Christ light. And that feels limited to use words that way. It feels like it's so much bigger than that. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, definitely.
I want to add something that maybe even makes it easier, gets it out of the personality piece of you healing people, is that you're stepping into a vibration and a field of energy that you're embodying more and more. You're holding it in your light body, and your light body is getting bigger. And it's that vibration of that Christ light, that understanding. It translates in your brain as I can heal people. But it's the same thing that I remember from a story growing up, because I remember Jesus going into the crowds and this woman wanted to be healed really badly, but she didn't feel like she deserved it, or she didn't feel like she could get an audience with Jesus by herself. And so she reached out and touched his garment. Because of her faith, she was miraculously healed. Now, he didn't do anything to her, but he lived in the Christ light. He exuded the vibration. And so this is just a little tweak in the brain about how you heal others, is that, yes, as you carry and walk in that vibration, others are healed, but you don't even have to do anything. Yes, you might do something to exude that energy in a particular and specific way in a one-on-one session or in a group. But this, to me, is like being the hollow bone as a shaman, or just doing your own personal work, is that your light body is expanding. It has particular geometries as you're remembering who you are. And those bring someone back into resonance. That's just another way to say that.
I met a friend of a friend for the first time. I don't know, this was maybe a year ago, and she has been battling cancer. and she's lived way longer than, they gave her time for. Anyway, through a series of events, I bought her a selenite heart and I gave it to my friend to give her. I was just telling my husband this last night. It reoccurred to me that she said, the minute you walked into my house, your energy is so big and she feels like it helped her, right? She was in remission at the time. And she was like, I could just feel your energy fill the room. And, she doesn't know anything about my spiritual work or anything like that, right? So it really resonated with me like, wow, that is possible. And then I remembered during my channeling, the people that were there asking the questions and stuff. One of the fellas, he was a monk for many years. And he said, the difference is that you not only raise your own vibration to give the message, you raise the vibration of everybody in the room. And he said, I feel so clear and like on a high. The people that the energy brings forward, right? It's so interesting.
It's just going to get more exciting is what it feels like. I mean, that's kind of like an understatement. I think everything you've done in your life is just preparing you for a whole new epic kind of energy. It can seem dramatic at times, but my guides are just saying it's like this cool evolutionary flow. It's really this beautiful, and my guides are keep showing me wings like angel wings, like flight into grounding this high through your body onto this planet. That ascension is actually being present in this fifth dimensional reality in our own bodies. That's part of you being a column of light that helps change the entireness of humanity. Not only as you enter the room, not only as you meet more people that are like soul tribe, that you feel it and have it reflected back to you. In your journey, you'll have it very clearly reflected back to you by the masses, is what my guides are saying. That you'll know how big a difference you're making by just simply following what's right for you. Whether it's playing or whether it seems like building your YouTube channel, it's like it's exuding into the matrix. Whether you're in a room of 1 or 20 or 1,000, or you're looking out across the world from a meditation or a channeling, you're tremendously putting light into the matrix that is healing a great deal of suffering and bringing people back to joy, to have hope, and that they can feel it. Even, how many people, empaths, feel the chaos? Well, because you're focused in joy, you're infusing that back into the grid. And perhaps one teaching you could offer a lot of people is that joy, as you focus on that, that changes the grid of suffering. It is like you stand there with that humility, light, and joy within you, and it blesses those, and somehow things get lighter. I hope that really penetrates what message we're trying to get through here. Do you know anything about Shinto goddesses or Shintoism?
No, not really.
So you carry the medicine of Uzume. There's this goddess of laughter and mirth from the Shinto tradition, and her name is Uzume. There's a story of her and the goddess Amaterasu. She was the sun goddess. And one day she got mad at her brother, the storm god, and she went into the cave and wouldn't come out, and the world went dark. And so all the gods and goddesses gathered around a campfire in the dark and began crying and wailing because the world was dying. So Uzume, the goddess of mirth and laughter, came with a big drum, and she put it by the fire, and she looked around at them and thought, you silly gods and goddesses, you've forgotten who you are. And so she got up on her drum and began doing a lewd striptease. And they all forgot about their worries and began to laugh. And it got louder and louder because the more they laughed, the crazier she got. And eventually Amaterasu heard them laughing, and she thought, what are they doing without me laughing out there? And so she came out of the cave and the light came back. And so I feel like she's talking to me right now saying, you carry within all your wisdom and love, you carry that light. And I don't know if you get irreverent with it or not, but you certainly can bring laughter back where there's darkness. And she feels like she walks with you as a reminder that you bring the light back no matter how dark it gets.
Oh, I love that so much.
She's pretty.
I love that. Your art is just mesmerizingly beautiful.
Thank you.
You mentioned the hollow bone several times. I'm not familiar with that. What is that?
So, in some of the ancient shamanic traditions, from a Native American perspective, but that a shaman, that's not an easy path. That's a pretty challenging path. People are called. What I learned is, as we get purified on the spiritual path, which we do, purifying our egos, is that we become more and more light that we carry and less ego. And from a perspective of the hollow bone or a hollow reed, is that we become the conduit for spirit to work through us and our personality moves out of the way. We might use it to teach or to affect another person. We get clean and clear of that egoic structure that is about me or is about I did this.
Yeah.
And we become that pure expression of spirit like Jesus did. I believe firmly that in this particular timeline and lifetime that is so crazy, we're moving into the golden age, but we're finishing up the age of Kali and all this crazy looking stuff on the planet right now. And that there's many hollow bones to hold the light, to bring the light, that it's not just one in this era, it's many to return as to be a conduit of light. And that's what the hollow bone means to me, or the hollow reed.
That makes sense.
And it also, as shamans or people on deep spiritual paths go through a lot of initiations and oftentimes dark night of the souls to get them here. It's an uncomfortable path, but it's one of purification that allows us ultimately to be the light in the world.
That's beautiful.
You're truly impacting the vibrational field in huge ways that is affecting your ancestors and many ancestors to help them when they were silenced or it wasn't safe.
Yeah.
And there's no fixing. It's just you're emerging is weaving a different pattern that is moving through timelines to help heal those patterns of dominance and fright that were put into people. And it's helping in big ways. I hope I can give light and language to it.
Yes, so true. I often find, even in my channeling, that it's difficult to express the level of energy because we don't even have the words to express it. So I keep getting to don't try to express it through words, right? Express it through vibration and through your own energy directly to their energy.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, because the conscious mind can't take it all in. So it's been coming through, and my guides were like, before you end, this needs to go into the painting. And I find it looks like I scribble across different parts of the painting, and I call it light. It's little tiny symbols that I'm intuitively making, but I also have gotten sound over the years. And it's like a channeling of frequency. That's not English. And usually people get chills. Usually people feel the healing, but they don't have English for it. So it's like what you're saying.
Yes.
So part of the way this is coming through now, my guides want me to put sound to it. And then I'll show you, because I know that the light shining on here you can't see as well as when we started. You're truly remembering all of who you are. The elders are here. The ancient ones are here with you. You've always walked with them. You're bringing downloads through the one or the many, which are all the same. But specifically, I'm led to see what we'd consider other dimensional or off-planetary counsel of yours. We know each other through the dimensions, they're saying. There's a higher dimensional aspect of you in your soul stream, more of your oversoul and what I call your monad, that is your consciousness stream. They show me this energy coming from your crown now it's like an upside-down pyramid, except it's open at the top. Your channel is pure and clean. It's as if there's another you from another timeline talking to you through the council, that you are one of the council members. I see a lot of white. I see almost like light feathers coming, but I can't tell if it's energy or feathers from you. There's at least 13 of you. There's a connection to the Divine Mother energy that is not set into male or female as it's done on Earth. It's as if you're reading ancient scrolls, but they're vibrational. So there's sound harmonics that come into words through you, but you feel the bigger essence of the sound harmonics that is vast. And as you speak it, even in English or whatever language you choose, the sound comes through your heart and through your tone and your voice, and it affects the field. And that's when people feel chills and they go, oh my God, it feels so good in here. You're bringing in this wisdom from even pre-incarnation is what I understand. And that it is the divine consciousness. And yet, even sitting in the council that appears, it's as if you're watching earth time and space, but you're watching soul time and space. It's very multidimensional. It's hard to explain. But it's almost like this other you is listening to you on earth and understanding that it's a two-way street. You're not only gaining information, you're sending information through time and space to this other aspect of yourself that's helping you affect time on this planet and humanity, from what I understand. How does that feel?
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So last night in my awakeness, right, I get this message that I need to start talking to my future self. And this future self said, like everybody says on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share. I shouldn't say that. I should say, subscribe to the video if you are open to receive the transmission, because that's their acceptance of the energy coming through. Even though it's electronic, the energy transmission is a two-way street, and you can't just send it out if it's not received. So the way they receive is they subscribe.
That's great. I think it's awesome. Okay, you ready for me to turn this around? I think.
Yes, I love it.
Okay. I'm going to pull it out of this shining big light to see if I can give you more of a. And when
Oh
you get
my
it, it's going
gosh,
to be so much more vibrant.
I just love it so much. Whew.
So this is the light language. Again, you can't see it really well, but it's little symbols in here. The yellows and greens came in, just got more vibrant. There's a yellow gold that's around your head with the white and some pink. And then your throat just really wanted to reflect how you're vibrating out into the world, your energy, your light. It's the same with your eyes. And you had to have this little mark at your third eye. It didn't have me explore it too deeply, but it's just really clear that you've got this higher connection and light connection that just want to be reflection in the painting.
I love it so much. Oh, it's funny that you put the lotus in there, because I have a lotus on my book, a lotus on my website, and I just feel like I resonate so much with that lotus.
Yeah, this is kind of an abstract lotus, but it very much is in there. And then the energy of spirals came into the center of the lotus as I was finishing, and that you're carrying that light source of spiral through the lotus into this world to help get off the linear path. It's as part of the shift of really returning to the spiral of life, that we're not on a linear journey, that this is the spiral of the soul. But it's also creativity, connection to source. And it feels like bringing what's inside you out into the world through your light.
Oh, I love that so much.
Cool. Any questions before we get off of here, my dear?
Oh, no, just so much gratitude. Thank you so much. It's beautiful. So, there you have it. So, if you're ready for a soul portrait and you've been inspired to connect with your true self, contact Katherine. Her contact information is in the description of the video below. As a gift to our community, Katherine is offering a discount when you use the discount code in the video description below. Thanks for joining me today on this adventure. Each video I publish contains my frequency and intention to upgrade your energetic system. This expands your field, increases your intuitive guidance, and abundance. By subscribing to this channel, you connect to the vibration and accept the intention and support our channel. It's free to subscribe, so please hit that subscription button and notifications to receive the next frequency upgrade and video. Mahalo, and see you in the next one.